my last breakdown on Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, that was meant to be it. That was meant to be my definitive breakdown. Obviously, I went into that video with the same goal I have for every breakdown that I do, which is to give a fair, impartial, balanced synopsis on skill sets and probability and game plans. And you know what? Going back and rewatching that video, I don't believe I accomplished that. I don't believe I did. I believe that there were certain parts of that video where bias definitely, shined through. I don't think I did as good of a job as I needed to, truly. I think that there was a lot of truth in that video, don't get me wrong, but there were definitely a few moments here or there that I feel like, again, my bias definitely showed, and that's why I decided to come back today and right the wrongs that last video had. And, the truth is, I'm scared. I'm scared. I am. I'm scared. After the Gamrot fight, when Max called out Charles and Charles reciprocated, I didn't want it. I didn't want him to fight Max Holloway. I didn't want it. I thought Michael Chandler 3 would have been a much better contest. I think Bobby Green would have been a great fight for Charles. I didn't want to fight Max Holloway. Max Holloway, it's not close on the feet. Out at range, it's not close. It's not. It's not. Max is on a different level. The speed, the combinations, the way he can mix up strikes to the head and to the body, the jump spinning back kicks. It is lighter man skill all the way. It is. I do not favor Charles Oliveira in the slightest when it comes to striking at range. And Max Holloway, ever since he's moved up to 155, he's better than he's ever been before. He's better than he's ever been before. The power has translated extremely well. His power has never been as significant down at 145. In fact, I would even go out on a limb and say that he is a much tougher fight for Ilia Topuria up at 55 than he was down at 145. I mean, you look at the amount of times that he landed on Ilia Topuria in that fight with distance management, with counters, and then you compare that to the amount of pop he has up at 155. It is terrifying, and I'm afraid. I'll admit it. I am. I'm scared. I'm scared. Listen, it's not to say that Charles doesn't have a chance. In fact, I think he can win. I know he can win. I know he can. But you just look at when Max Holloway had Dustin Poirier hurt up against the fence, and you just look at this sequence, man. He throws like 30 punches in 3 seconds. I don't even think I captured every single individual screenshot of punches, but look at how he's just mixing it up here. He's a different level on the feet. The speed, the combinations, he's a different level. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then you look at Charles entering into range with Gamrot with a double jab right hand and just getting countered midway through punching. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. Charles has had tendencies to be extremely reckless. Charles has had a tendency to just kind of throw the game plan to the waist and just bang. And that's not good. It's not good. This right here would be Armageddon. This right here would be the end of us all if this sequence happens, because it is not close out in the center. Max is faster, he's quicker, he's more accurate, he can mix it up better, and this cannot happen. It can't happen. Now listen, again, with all of this being said, Charles, he can win this fight. I swear to God he can win this fight. I swear to God he can win this fight. And it's going to come down to one thing, and that one thing is girth. Girth. Okay? There are some things to look at in the grappling sequences back and forth that I swear are going to make or break this fight. There are some specific tendencies that either of them have with takedowns and takedown defense that changes everything. And the big one is, it's girth, though. It's girth. It's girth. Charles Oliveira is big, he's meaty. Max Holloway, again, has built up to a decent size up at 55, but does Max Holloway have to be surrounded by 25 of his friends as they all circle him like he's Jesus Christ cutting weight? No, because he doesn't have as big of a cut as Charles Oliveira does. Charles Oliveira is huge, and he's meaty, and he's girthy, and that is going to play a huge difference when we look at a lot of these sequences of Max Holloway's takedown defense, his get-ups from the bottom. There's a lot to look at here. There's a ton to look at, but this only matters if Charles can actually close distance safely. And I think, again, if they are to strike out at range, Charles is finished. We're done. We're 6 feet under. But luckily, there are some tendencies from Charles that I actually do kind of like on the feet. But real quick, right before that, I want to take a quick second to thank the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings Sportsbook. Guys, of course, UFC 326 is coming up. It is a massive event for us. And what DraftKings is offering right now is incredible. If you're a brand new customer and you bet just $5 on any wager, if your bet hits, they will give you $200 in bonus bets. I mean, I am not joking. Listen, if you guys enjoy the thrill of sports betting and you're willing to put your fight IQs on the line, I mean, it's a no-brainer. For me, when I take those fighters that I've been researching, the ones that I really believe in, and I put just a little bit of money on them, there's no better way to enjoy the fights. And I really mean that. But even if sports betting is not yet legal in your state, do not worry. DraftKings is your one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy, where you can catch in on all the fun and have a shot to win cash prizes. Again, brand new customers, use my promo code MMASHAY, bet $5 on any wager, and get $200 in bonus bets. That is code MMASHAY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's the big one, right? Charles, what is he going to attempt to do to everybody? He's going to attempt to pressure you. And I think that's great. And that is because Max Holloway's game is based on volume, speed, and movement. Max Holloway practically needs to keep the fight out in the center, out in the open, because what he does is he stays on the outside, but he pressures you. And as he's pressuring you, he'll blitz in with a quick, fast combination, lots of volume, and when you try to return, he just slides away. He needs a lot of real estate behind him to operate into. This is just what Max Holloway does. But if Charles Oliveira can back him all the way to the fence, all of a sudden that footwork, that distance management, that speed, it's not going to open up the same way. I mean, it's just not. As soon as Dustin Poirier actually got Max backed up to the fence, he immediately tries to circle away because he knows that is not where he needs to be. He eats the jab right here. But now, obviously, the fucking hard part is actually getting Max Holloway there. Because one thing Max Holloway is very good at is sneaking punches right through the guard. You saw it against Dustin. There were moments early in that fight where Dustin is trying to pressure him, and Max just comes in, big lead hook to open up the guard, then straight shot through, drops him horrifically. And again, Charles Oliveira, in terms of being defensively sound, sometimes it's just fucking not defensively sound. But you look at the Gamrot fight, his very last time out, and you look at him, obviously, he just tried to pressure Gamrot hard. He just tried to bully him the entire time. And listen, Gamrot is not a bad striker by any means. It's not like Gamrot doesn't know how to strike. I mean, he certainly does. But you look at Oliveira's guard right here. I mean, the front door is completely closed. He is completely shelling up. And obviously, Gamrot looks to land around the guard, which is fine. And honestly, Charles kind of lets him. You see, he's just bracing, tucking his chin, and that's good. I mean, against a sequence like this, that is going to be perfect. Max is not going to be able to make him run in to any shots. Now, obviously, Max is going to be way more dangerous than a Gamrot is from here. If he lands right around the guard, is that enough to hurt Charles? I mean, Charles was doing fine absorbing these shots from Ilia Topuria around the guard. It obviously, again, wasn't until he decided to throw an unprompted right hand at range and get countered right on the chin till it actually hurt him. Or even the Michael Chandler fight. He's just walking Michael Chandler down, tight high guard. Chandler, again, lands around the guard, but Oliveira's bracing. His chin is tucked. He just eats it, keeps walking him down. We are living and dying by our ability to do this against Max Holloway. I mean, we don't have a choice. Listen, say what you will about Max's power being so much better at 55. It is so much better at 55, but Dustin Poirier went to decision. Justin Gaethje was gonna go to decision until the very last second of that fight. I do not believe Max Holloway is nearly as dangerous with the counters as Ilia Topuria is, and therefore, this is what we're gonna have to do right here. Tight high guard, forward pressure. We cannot allow Max Holloway to just dance around us out in space, because that's what he's going to do. He's going to be blitzing in with combinations, constantly sliding away, and he's going to be too quick for us. So we're just pushing him back constantly. I think it's a very common sort of complaint about Charles Oliveira that he's chinny, and I think that's... Anytime you complain about a fighter's chin, more often than not, it's just a very simplistic way to look at it. It almost always is. Charles Oliveira, the true complaint I think is there that's valid is that he's very reckless. That's the real complaint. When you look at any time he's pretty much been dropped, it's because he's, overextending in the pocket with a shot, getting countered by a superior boxer, I mean, even that, when he fought Michael Chandler the second time, and his hand started dropping, and Chandler clipped him right on the chin, he didn't actually even get dropped here. He did not. He was complaining about an eye poke, he started backing up, and he went for a takedown, and ended up in kind of this, 50-50 scramble position, and then got hammer-fisted in the back of the head a million times. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is it's him trying to do this. That's the real problem. Though, again, I'm not as scared of doing this against Max Holloway as I am Ilia Topuria. The other big issue that's going to be there when it comes to attempting to pressure Max Holloway is going to be what he was doing to Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier was also trying to pressure, so Max, every time Dustin took a step forward, he would try to make him run into the body kick, and it was working very well. It's a great way to negate pressure. Dustin wasn't liking it. And obviously, Dustin is really eating the brunt of this kick because he's extending in with a left hand. And that's what's making him run into this shot so bad. Thankfully, we are not going to be throwing any naked right hands at space this time around. I fucking hope not. Again, I'm not as scared of this happening against Max Holloway, but we don't want to just give him a free kick to the body because we're overextending at space. Again, Max, like I've been saying, is just better than us in this area. So what we are going to look to do is when Max does rip the body kick, we're immediately looking to catch it. We are going to try to make Max very uncomfortable. I mean, just like this, except obviously this is a low kick, making it harder to catch, but if we could grab the kick, push it back, make Max kind of fall back a little bit unbalanced, that is where I am completely fine stepping in with a hard right hand, okay? Obviously, look, only one of them made Justin Gaethje's tongue go numb round one, all right? That was Charles Oliveira, and obviously we can't act like Max is perfect defensively himself, but if we can make him uncomfortable, it's going to really sort of make him worried about throwing those body kicks, either catching it and then looking for a trip or a single, or just catching it to throw him off balance to open up our own strikes. That is what we have to do. We don't have a choice here. We have to walk him down. We have to get him backed up to the fence. The jump spinning back kicks to the body are going to be a serious problem with how freaking high Oliveira's guard is. If we get backed up, when Max starts ripping to the body, that could be absolutely horrific. We need to make Max uncomfortable and get his back to the fence, and the way we're going to do that is just a tight high guard and walk him down. That's what we need to do. Do I fully trust Oliveira to not have a sequence just like this? No, I don't. But again, I think in general, on the back foot especially, I'm not nearly as scared of Max Holloway as I am Ilia. We don't have a choice here. We do not have a choice here. Because if we're just standing out at range, it's over. It is game over. But again, looking at the takedowns, though, this is obviously where Charles Oliveira is going to win this fight, and this is where I actually think he can win this fight, because you look at Max Holloway's takedown defense, it's very good. It's very, very good. It is. It's very good. He has very good takedown defense, but primarily his takedown defense comes from his ability to, again, be pressuring, be on the front foot, so he sees his opponent's takedowns coming. Right? Primarily, he gets underhooks or he attacks guillotines. You see it in all of these examples right here. But even when he is getting pressured, if the shot is not set up well, he sees it coming, he digs the underhook, and he's getting his arms in the way of these takedowns. But look at the Ilia Topuria fight as a perfect example. Ilia pressures Max Holloway. Ilia, of course, has a very, very fast shot, but he completely beats Max to the hips right here. Just completely gets past Max's arms. He gets his hands locked around the hips, obviously picks him up, dumps him. Now, Ilia Topuria does not get his head higher than Max Holloway's. You have to make your opponent carry your weight from a position like this. Ilia failed to do so, therefore Max just immediately stands back up. But with this being said, you look at when Charles Oliveira fought Michael Chandler the second time. This is the fight where I really saw Oliveira's wrestling level up. He's walking Chandler down, again, tight high guard. He times the shot off of Chandler's lead hook. Right as Chandler looks to punch, he just beats him to the hips. It was timed beautifully, goes for a double, ends up going with a single, hikes it up, trips him. It's an amazing sequence right there. Or you look at this sequence right here, right? He takes a shot. Chandler sees it coming and grabs the underhook just like Max Holloway loves to do. And he transitions to a knee tap. An overhook knee tap takes him down right there. This is chain wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it's off of a sequence. Like, this is the kind of defense that Max Holloway loves to look for. And look at this transition. This is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, the girth, though, that's the difference. It's the girth. It is the girth. Mateusz Gamrot, right? Potentially, if we're only looking at just straight up wrestling, maybe the most talented in the division, right? The reason why Arman Tsarukyan lost to Gamrot is because Arman Tsarukyan was trying to scramble with him. And because he was trying to scramble with Gamrot, he was playing Gamrot's game. And again, some people say that, look, if Arman Tsarukyan just defended takedowns and struck, he's going to win that fight easily. But because he decided to have a wrestling match with Gamrot, that's why he lost, right? That's why he lost. And you just look at when Oliveira completely bullies him, pressures him to the fence, gets to this body lock, hikes him up, puts him back down, circles to the other side of the whizzer, takes it back. I mean, just look at the level here. And obviously, if Charles actually gets you into a position like this, actually building a base back up is so scary. If you give up your back, he's going to take it with a body triangle. If you come to a front headlock position, he's looking for guillotines, he's looking for darces, and I think someone like Max Holloway, again, it's difficult because generally his takedown defense has looked so good that it's very rare to see him in a position where someone holds him down and they have to have prolonged grappling exchanges. But apart from a Brian Ortega, who, has never, ever had high-level wrestling skills, this is going to be our first time seeing him have to fight someone with a skill set like this. And that's kind of the hard part, though. There's not an amazing frame of reference outside of takedown defense to kind of gauge Max's grappling skills. Obviously, he's got very good get-ups. I think that, there were sequences in the Dustin Poirier fight where I think he looked really good in certain grappling exchanges. Listen, it's hard to be 100% conclusive here. It's difficult. But I think what this fight comes down to, essentially, is this. If Charles Oliveira strikes with Max Holloway out at range, we're done. We're finished. That's it. We're done. We're finished. Because he can't contend with him there. He can't. Max is a different level. There's lighter man skill when it comes to that particular area. But if we can take away the distance management and the footwork and the speed of Max Holloway by backing him up to the fence, getting him into this position right here, then we're looking for body locks, we're looking for doubles, we're looking to transition. Fuck, I'm glad. I have no problem sitting down with underhooks against Max Holloway. He's going to try just to get the fuck away from us. Like he did even against the first time he fought Charles Oliveira way back in the day. But that's what we have to do. So it's what we have to do. We have to live or die by this game plan. We have to, or else we're finished and we're done. And I don't know, man. I don't know what happens if Charles loses this fight. I don't know.